Welcome aboard, aviation enthusiasts. In this gripping video, we've compiled the heart-pounding moments that will send shivers down your spine. 13 of the scariest aviation incidents caught on camera. From unexpected turbulence to heart-stopping emergencies, these clips showcase the resilience of both man and machine when faced with the unexpected challenges of the skies. Fasten your seatbelts as we take you through the edge-of-your-seat experiences that highlight the remarkable feats and nail-biting struggles in the world of aviation. Brace yourself for a thrilling journey through the skies where every moment counts and every decision determines the ultimate outcome. Number 1. The miracle on the Hudson. When US Airways Flight 1549 loses engine power moments after leaving LaGuardia, there's only one option: an emergency landing on the Hudson. US Airways Flight 1549 in 2009 became a symbol of aviation heroism with its miraculous Hudson River landing. Shortly after takeoff from New York's LaGuardia Airport, the Airbus A320 collided with a flock of birds, causing both engines to fail. Captain 𝐥𝐤𝐬𝐵 Sullenberger made a split-second decision to ditch the aircraft in the icy Hudson River. Skillfully executing the water landing, all 155 people on board were successfully evacuated onto rescue boats, highlighting the extraordinary competence of the flight crew. The event, known as the Miracle on the Hudson, demonstrated the critical importance of pilot expertise in emergency situations. Number 2. Deadly Moscow plane fire. The harrowing clips show desperate passengers fleeing 150 flames after an emergency landing at 𝐦𝐤𝐬𝐤 Airport. The plane was airborne briefly before returning to make an emergency landing, and still heavy with unburned fuel, the jet ignited after a rough touchdown. 10 people were injured, and 37 people escaped from the plane alive. The pilot, Denis Evdokimov, has been formally charged with negligence over the crash landing. Number 3. Emergency exit. A plane passenger opened an airplane door during a flight to South Korea. A terrifying video captured passengers on board the plane being battered by the intense wind. Witnesses say the passenger was sitting next to the emergency door when he suddenly removed a plastic cover and pulled a lever. That's when the door slid open. The plane was 600 feet off the ground and was minutes away from landing in South Korea when it happened. Inside Edition's Les Trent has more. Number 4. Melbourne, Australia. The images come in after a terrifying incident on board a passenger plane just after takeoff from Melbourne, Australia. A man rushing the cockpit claiming to have a bomb. Australian airport security, heavily armed, quickly carrying the hog-tied passenger off the jetliner. A dramatic end to a short flight just after takeoff from Melbourne, the Malaysian Airlines crew tells the captain a passenger is trying to breach the cockpit door as the pilot recounted 2 controllers. Police suggest the suspect has a history of mental illness. Number 5. Boeing 747 bird strike. Royal Flight of Oman. Boeing 747. 400 left Hamburg on the 22nd of November 2020 at around 10:30 a.m. local time. During takeoff roll, the aircraft was struck by a bird. However, the aircraft continued to climb without further incidents and landed safely in Oman a few hours later. The gull hit the engine inlet, and part of the bird went through the fan and then through the bypass, we believe. Looks like nothing went through the core and compressor stage. Number 6. Emergency landing on busy highway. Pilot Vincent Fraser made an emergency landing on a busy 4-lane highway in North Carolina. It all started when Fraser was flying with his father-in-law over the Great Smoky Mountains when the single-engine plane suddenly failed. He was able to dodge power lines to make the emergency landing. Fraser was also able to land the aircraft without hitting a single vehicle. Number 7. Small plane crashes into SUV. CBS Minnesota reports a person's SUV was totaled by the plane, but incredibly, there were no injuries in the plane or the SUV. Number 8. Raw footage of the China Airlines Flight 120 explosion. On the morning of August 20th, 2007, a devastating fire broke out on China Airlines Flight 120, which had just landed in Naha Airport. It's now a race against time to evacuate the 157 passengers on board. Number 9. AirAsia Flight. AirAsia Flight in 2014 tragically vanished with 162 people on board, marking a harrowing incident in aviation history. The Airbus A320 disappeared from radar screens over the Java Sea, triggering an intense international search operation. Subsequently, wreckage was found, revealing the devastating crash site. Investigations pointed to severe weather conditions and pilot error as contributing factors. The incident underscored the vulnerability of commercial flights to unforeseen challenges and emphasized the importance of rigorous safety measures in the aviation industry. The heart-wrenching episode remains etched in memory as a stark reminder of the uncertainties inherent in air travel. Number 10. Airbus A320 crash in Brazil. TAM Airlines Flight 3054 in 2007 ended in tragedy as the Airbus A320 overshot the runway during landing at Congonhas Airport in São Paulo, Brazil. The aircraft skidded across a busy street, collided with a building, and burst into flames, claiming the lives of all 187 people on board and several on the ground. Investigations revealed a combination of factors, including inadequate runway conditions and a malfunctioning thrust reverser. The incident underscored the importance of addressing runway safety issues to prevent such catastrophic events in the aviation industry. Number 11. This Paris-bound flight. At 1:49 a.m. on May 31, 2009, Air France 447 left Brazilian radar surveillance and entered a communication dead zone over the Atlantic on its way to Paris. It would never be seen or heard from again. Number 12. Flight 1380 attempts a dangerous maneuver. As Southwest Flight 1380 began emergency landing procedures on April 17, 2018, it had one thing in its favor: Captain Tammy Jo Schultz, an experienced Navy pilot who had landed F-18s in war zones. Number 13. Delta Airlines Flight 1086. You know that feeling you get when you know that you have to perform at the absolute best? The feeling of sole determination, but also maybe some nervousness about not screwing up. Well, certain conditions can make pilots feel exactly that same way. And when you add on unreliable weather reports on an aircraft design feature working opposite to how it should, unpleasant things can start to happen. A Delta MD-88 skidded off the runway at LaGuardia Airport during a snowstorm. As we land this riveting journey through the 13 scariest aviation moments caught on camera, we want to hear from you. Which moment left you breathless? Share your thoughts, reactions, and any stories you have down in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this adrenaline-packed adventure, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Join our aviation community for more gripping content, and let's soar together through the highs and lows of the skies.